Welcome. In this video, I'm going to talk about updating your files and database in WordPress before you do a WordPress upgrade. So I'm in my WordPress instance here, and you see it says there's a new version available. It's WordPress 5.3, and I can update it by hitting Update Now. But of course, up here it says, please back up your database and files. So the first thing you can do in the system is back up the config just on your computer. So if we go down to the wrench, let's see if I forget what that's called. Tools. If you click on Tools on the left sidebar, you can go here to Export, and you can say All Content and say Download Export File. So that will download like an XML file with your config with your posts, your pages, your media, things like that. But we're going to go do it on the command line to make sure we got absolutely everything. So we'll go back to our update page here. Okay, so I'm logged into my WordPress instance, and this is on my WordPress that's hosted on Amazon Web Services Lightsail. I'll put a link in the description to my WordPress playlist, and I have the instructions on how I set all of this up. So the first thing I want to do is back up the database. So what you want to do is you want to type cat space /var /www and then / and then you want your instance. Mine is rickmakescom, and then you want the wp-config.php. Although I don't store mine in my directory, I store it in the parent directory. So I'll go here and I'll type wp-config.php. I'll type pipe, grep, and then db. And this will show me my current WordPress username and password. And I've changed this for this video. I'll change this back to what it was after I'm done. And I'll put what I'm typing in here on my website. I'll put a link to that in the description. So I want to type mysql dump space -u and then the WordPress username and then -p and then the database name. So you can add the password right here like that. You want no space after the P, and that's not really recommended to do that. And then I'm going to pipe that to XZ. I'll type space -9 and then EC. So what this is doing is this is going to compress it. And then I will pass that to WordPress _ and then I'll use the date. I'll do year, month, day, .sql.xz. So doing a date format like this, if you have multiple backups of this database, it'll easily sort them. So I'll hit this. It'll ask for the password. I'll copy that in. And this should happen pretty quickly because it's not very big. And you see here we have the database. So I have two of those. This is the previous one I did, and this is the one I'm doing right now. Okay, so I'll clear my screen. Next, I want to back up the file, so I'll type cd space /var /www. I'll hit enter. I'll type ls, and you see I have the rickmakescom directory. Okay, so before I back up the rickmakescom directory, I want to move the config into it, so I'll type sudo space mv space wp-config.php, and then I want to put that in my WordPress directory. I'll hit enter, and you may need to type your password in when you use sudo. Next, I want to type tar space jcvf space and then tilde / WordPress _ 2019 1117.tar.xz space, and then I want the name of my WordPress directory. So this will compress all this into one folder in your home directory. I'll clear my screen. I'll type ls-l tilde, and this is my home directory now. So you see I have the backups in there. So now we have everything backed up, but we're not actually going to use that backup right now. What I'll do is I'll type ls, and then I will copy this. I'll type sudo space cp space -a, and then I'll say rickmakescom, and I'll say rick makes com underscore back. So that'll make a backup of the directory. And that's a little easier to use than the tar. So the absolute safest way is if you were to move these files off site, these backups you made. But if we type ls now, we have both versions of this. And then I'll type cd to go back to my home directory. I'll hit clear. So now I want to replicate the database. So I want to type sudo mysql. That'll log me in as the admin. I want to create a database. So I'll copy this line here. And I'll name the database WordPress, and then I'll have the current date. So underscore 2019 11/17. Now I want to grant privileges. So I'll say grant all on WordPress underscore 2019 11/17 to WordPress demo user. I can ignore that warning there. Copy and paste the flush privileges. Then I'll exit this, I'll clear. So now I should be able to log in here. Make sure I get my password. I say show databases, I should see two databases here. Okay, so we have WordPress and WordPress 2019 11/17. I'll exit, I'll clear my screen, I'll type ls. So now we want to extract the database into the new database we created. So I'll say xzcat, and then WordPress, and then it was 11/17 SQL XZ. So xzcat will take this file and it will just pipe it to the screen. So if I ran this, you'd see all the SQL statements. So I want to type shift pipe, and then I want to type mysql space -u, and I want to say WordPress demo user space -p space, and then WordPress underscore 2019 11/17. You want to make sure you get the right one in there. So I'll hit enter. It's going to ask for my password. I'll paste that in, and now it's sending this database to the demo database. If I log into MySQL and I say show databases, use database WordPress 2019 11/17. I just need to say use WordPress. I don't need to have the word database in there. And then I can say show tables. And we can see we have all our WordPress tables. So I'll exit out of here. So now we have a backup of the database and the files. I'll go into my WordPress here, and I can hit update now. Okay, it looks like that might be finished. It's talking about all the new features. Let's see if my website comes up. Okay. Okay, so now I'll go to my dashboard, I'll go to updates, and it says we're on 5.3. Okay, so let's assume this screwed up, okay? So what we can do is I'll go into my WordPress directory, so cd var www with the slashes. And what I want to do here is I want to say sudo space move for mv, and then rick makes com to, let's see, we'll call it rick makes com underscore broke. And this will take your site down. Although in the hypothetical situation, it's not working anyway. So then I'll type sudo space copy, and I'm going to copy because I want to leave the backup there. I'm going to say rick makes com back to rick makes com. So I'll hit enter there. Oh yeah, and I want to, let's see, I want to do -a here. There we go. And the A makes it recursive and deals with permissions and things like that. So now we have the two, we have three directories. We have the current website, we have the backup, and then the broke. So now what I want to do is I want to edit the WP config file. So I can go into rickmakes.com. I'll type sudo space nano space wp-config.php. And I want to find the database. And we want to change the database name. We want to change that to our backup one. So I'll change that. I'll type Control-O to save, Control-X to exit. And then if we go down here now and refresh our screen, you'll see we're seeing it's asking us to upgrade to WordPress 5.3. So what we've done is we've replaced the database and the web files, and now we're back to where we were before the update. So at this point, you need to find out what broke with the update. And that could be anything. It's really hard to determine that. But if you like where you're at, you could remove your backup, you could remove your broken version. And as far as the database goes, you can leave it with the data after it, and then delete the other database. So let me get in there, sudo mysql show databases. So right now I have two databases. I have the WordPress, and that's the upgraded one that's theoretically broken. And then we have this one with the data after it. So you could delete this WordPress one. There's no way that I know of, at least not in the version I'm using, to rename a database. What you'd have to do is export it and then re-import it into the same name. But I don't see a whole lot of harm in just leaving it like this with the data after it. You could use that later for tracking. So you can delete that, and then you're back where you started. At this point, you'd probably want to offload everything to another site and then test this out. But that's how you back up the database and files before upgrade and do a recovery. If you have any questions about this, I covered a lot, then please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.